Imagine finding a 5-carat diamond ring on a beach or a bag of money in a public trash can. Can you claim ownership? Today, we will look into the myth of finders keepers and compare how the law treats lost and abandoned items in two different countries, Australia and the United States. We'll also explore the legal principles behind ownership of found items, the difference between lost and abandoned items, and how the laws vary between these two countries. Many believe that if you find something, it's yours to keep, but is that really true? Some assume that returning a lost item entitles them to a finder's fee for returning the item to its rightful owner. However, is this assumption true? Knowing the legal distinctions between lost and abandoned items can help you avoid getting busted and understand your rights. Both countries aim to balance the rights of the original owner with the rights of the finder. In both countries, lost property must be returned to the rightful owner if possible, but only if it is reasonably possible. Typically, without identification, locating the rightful owner is difficult. In the United States, the finder becomes the custodian. In other words, the custodian of the lost or mislaid item is usually the owner of the premises where the item was found. This means the premises owner has a legal responsibility to safeguard the item until the rightful owner comes forward to claim it. This is distinct from abandoned items. Abandoned items may be kept outright, as its owner has clearly relinquished possession and ownership. In here, you must be able to tell the difference between lost, mislaid versus abandoned item. In Australia, you may need to prove the item was abandoned to claim ownership, while in the United States, you must follow specific steps to establish ownership. In Australia, ownership of found items depends on whether the item is lost or abandoned. Lost items still belong to the original owner, and you must make reasonable efforts to return them. Abandoned items, however, can be claimed by the finder if the original owner has clearly relinquished ownership. So how do you tell if it's lost or abandoned? If you find a gold bracelet in a public park or a 5-carat diamond ring on a beach, it's likely considered lost, and you must try to locate the owner. It is likely that the jewelry may have been abandoned because it was a gift from a previous relationship. Who cares? The circumstances of where and how the item is found care. If you find an item in your friend's garden, despite your friend denying ownership, it belongs to your friend, not the finder. Likewise, if a valuable item is found in a shopping center, the law often favors the shopping center rather than the finder. This is because the shopping center is considered private property, and items found within its boundaries are typically deemed to belong to the property owner. A real-life case that illustrates this is the story of Alfred Boyagdis, a 22-year-old college student who found a bag containing over $11,000 at McDonald's in Sydney. Instead of handing it in, he kept the money. Police tracked him down using video footage, and he was charged with larceny. The court ruled that his actions constituted deliberate theft, as he failed to make reasonable efforts to find the owner. Boyagdis ended up with a criminal record and 12-month good behavior bond. Okay, what if the owner is unaware it's lost? This would not make a difference. A couple purchased a second-hand suitcase that had been donated to the charity and subsequently found over $100,000 hidden in the lining. They were detained by Melbourne police and required to return the money. Courts in Australia interpret finders keepers with strict limitations. The finder has rights to the property only if the property is abandoned, meaning the original owner has clearly relinquished ownership. The finder has made reasonable efforts to locate the rightful owner. If the money is suspected of being proceeds of crime, the situation becomes even more complex. In such cases, the money may be confiscated by authorities, and the finder cannot claim ownership. So it comes down to where you found it, efforts to identify the owner, and whether it's linked to a crime. In the United States, the law distinguishes between lost, mislaid, and abandoned items. Lost items can be claimed by the finder if the original owner cannot be located, while mislaid items must be returned to the owner of the premises where it was found. Abandoned items can be claimed outright by the finder. For example, if a wallet is found in a restaurant, it is considered mislaid property. The restaurant owner becomes the custodian until the rightful owner claims it. But if you find a bicycle in a street with no signs of ownership, it's likely abandoned and you can claim it. Intent is a key factor in determining whether property is abandoned. The original owner must show a clear intention to give up ownership. How do you tell the original owner's intention? Condition. Is it damaged? Location. Was it in a ditch? Duration. Was it untouched for how long? Indication of ownership. Were there locks? Contextual clues. Is it left near an accident site? The treasure trove doctrine exists in the United States. This applies to hidden or buried valuables like gold or money. In states recognizing this doctrine, the finder may claim ownership if the original owner cannot be identified. This rule is not universally accepted across all states, so it is important to determine if this doctrine applies in your state. In cases involving large sums of money, courts often emphasize the need for transparency and adherence to legal procedures. For instance, if the money is deemed proceeds of crime, it may be forfeited to the government and the finder cannot claim ownership. If you find something in Australia, here's what to do. Report the item to the local authorities in an attempt to locate the original owner. Follow their instructions and check back after the specified period. If the item is clearly abandoned, you can claim it, but document the circumstances to avoid disputes. Avoid taking items found on a private property without permission. It could be considered theft or larceny. If you find something in the United States, follow these steps. Step 1. Determine whether the item is lost, mislaid, or abandoned. Step 2. Report lost or mislaid items to the premises owner for items found on private property or local authorities for items found on public property. Step 3. If the item is abandoned, you can claim it, but ensure there's clear evidence of abandonment. In both Australia and the United States, there are no universal legal provisions guaranteeing a finder's fee for returning lost items to their rightful owner. In both countries, voluntary rewards are common and serve as a social incentive rather than a legal obligation. These rewards are typically advertised by the owner and are subject to the terms they set. The finder can claim this reward if they meet the conditions set by the owner. Also, if you are an owner seeking to advertise lost property and offer a reward for its return, be sure to clearly specify the terms and conditions of the reward to prevent any potential disputes against the finder. So, is finders keepers a legal principle? Not quite. The truth depends on whether the item is lost, mislaid, or abandoned. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, comment, and subscribe for more legal contents.